So Apple's released announced 2 new Apple Watches, 2 new iPads. There's this whole subscription services thing going on. iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 come out tomorrow. Apple events summed up in a bit. No, of course I'm kidding. My name is Luke and welcome back to Dynamic Digital World. I know the episodes are becoming completely random and completely impossible to follow what days they're being released on. Quick tip, schedule is every weekend guaranteed. Throughout the week, it's a wild card, I'm going to be honest with you. Tomorrow we will have the PlayStation event, but that's not until 9 o'clock, so I won't be doing an event on that until Thursday evening, and that's even if I have time. I'll go over schedule changes at the end of this episode. I really want to get to the content. So, today Apple had a massive event. No new iPhone, actually. It's the first time I remember them not doing a new iPhone in September. So, that was a shock for me to see. There's still another couple of weeks for them to do it, but still. The Apple Watch doesn't come with a power adapter anymore. I think that's different to it coming with a power cable. And I understand, yeah. So it comes with a charging cable but not an adapter. That's understandable. Actually, I completely forgive that. When I first read that, I thought it meant no wall plugs. No, just no. I thought it meant like no cabling or wall plugs. It's just no wall plugs. So basically, if you have an iPhone, you're fine, or an iPad, or an iPhone and an iPad, which you're probably likely to do if you're getting an Apple Watch. It's like me with my Samsung Watch. I have Samsung phone. So it'll probably go based off of what your phone is. You have an iPhone, you're almost guaranteed to have an Apple Watch, to be honest, if you have a smartwatch. They're the best ones for iPhones. They're the best smartwatches out there, I'm not even going to lie about it, to be honest. So yeah. Oh, and xCloud was released today. I actually spent, I don't know, maybe half an hour in Forza. So I'm going to go over my entire thoughts for the last year and a bit. Last year? Just under a year? Yeah, so I've been using xCloud for about under a year now, and we can kind of finally fully talk about it in detail. Because when it was first coming out, there was kind of a small kind of embargo. Sort of, we weren't fully able to talk all details. But now that it got into public beta, where anyone can just use it if they have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, then feel free to feel free to talk about it with mates and stuff. I'll go over all of my kind of my opinions and stuff. Now that's going to be at the end of the episode, because right now we need to get into Apple. So, today's headlines: Apple event, Xbox Game Pass with game streaming. That is a new name for xCloud as well. And yeah, those are the 2 headlines for today. I want to do some stuff about what EA's doing with Origin. Is kind of interesting if you're an EA fan. And PlayStation event tomorrow. A few more rumours about what could come out. My name is Luke, this is Dynamic Digital World, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get straight into today's kind of announcements from Apple. As I said, firstly, sorry the schedule is so hectic at the minute. I'm kind of doing things on a day when there's some massive announcements. I'll just do an episode quickly, as I should normally have the time. And weekend, obviously, you're guaranteed an episode either on Saturday or Sunday. I can't guarantee one on both. I got a lot of stuff going on. Now, regardless of what I've got going on with school and work, and probably up until October half term, when we'll probably be back in lockdown here in the UK, we have got an amazing amount of news. So Apple's released 2 new watches, 2 new iPads, as well as a new fitness, as well as some sort of new subscription services. So that's absolutely incredible. And the Apple Watch doesn't come with a power brick that you plug the wire into. So it still has the power adapt, the charging pad, obviously. It's just that you don't get a new power block, just because a lot of people who get one will already have an Apple one. And I understand that, because I'm completely with Apple. Go ahead and do this. When I heard that, I think, hang on, no charger in the box. it's just where there's no block, no brick. Makes sense. You've probably got at least 2 of them in your house. Just from two old iPhones. I've got at least 5. Just my mum's had 3 generations of iPhones, and we both had iPads supplied by work. So it's kind of like we don't even, we pay for it all and obviously and everything, but I'm an Android phone user, but Apple does make the best tablets I have ever used, maybe apart from the Samsung Galaxy Tab series. I'm hoping I will be able to get a look at that, but I don't think I will. So let's get on to the Apple Watch. So the new watch was a given. It was straight out of a rumor. It was guaranteed. The event was titled "Time Flies." Like, it would definitely serve a watch. Now, the Watch Series 6 is definitely a premium model. It's priced at $399 US. I'm afraid I don't have access to UK pricing yet. I don't believe that's been released. But it features a new sensor that can take a blood oxygen level in 15 seconds. That's definitely a good thing to see. Samsung did also reveal blood oxygen monitoring on its watches. So it's going to be good to see which one ends up being the more accurate one throughout testing, or if they're relatively similar. But then there's also a lower price model called Apple Watch CE. So CE or SE, I don't know if that's a typo. The headline has it as SE, the article has it as CE. This is not my article, I'm afraid. But that sells for $280 US, and the only thing you're really missing is the blood oxygen sensor. Both are being released on Friday, so that'll be Friday the 18th of September. And the Watch Series 3 is still on sale for a lower price of $200 US. So you do have kind of 3 pricing points depending on what you want in your features. Another new feature includes a way to sync kids' Apple Watches even if they don't have their own phone. So you can track their location and moderate the content they're consuming. Yeah, makes sense. You can track locations, and new models do have new bands. So fans of a claspless design can now snap a solo loop into their watch. They're stretchable loops available in either solid or braided material with no buckle. It comes in different sizes, so you can find the best fit for your own wrist. So definitely good. Now, one thing with this though is that Apple is discontinuing higher end ceramic Apple Watch models. So be aware, there are no ceramic Apple Watches this year. That's news just in 2 seconds ago. But like literally I just saw that 2 seconds ago. At home workouts, Fitness Plus is a new service from Apple. I swear Apple are really into their services. So they announced a subscription service for streamed workouts. It seems to be aimed at taking on Peloton and other companies capitalizing on home fitness. And Fitness Plus offers video streams of workouts in an array of categories. Things like yoga, cycling, strength training, high intensity interval training, and dance. You can follow along with videos on an iPhone or TV. Data from an Apple Watch will display on screen in real time. Samsung added a feature similar to that on the Galaxy Watch 3, the one that they released this year. And it's actually really good. Now, all of the data syncs to Apple's existing fitness app for later tracking, which is definitely good. And when paired with a watch, on-screen instructions will also show up on your wrist. So if a trainer reminds you to check heart rate, those numbers will get larger on the watch, so they're easy to spot at a glance. That's actually a really good thing. Now, classes will feature Apple's own workout instructors, and new sessions will be added every week. Fitness Plus is coming out later this week, $10 per month, or $80 per year. So you're saving about $40 if you pay per year. I would definitely consider that if you're going to do that. Now, there is something. So, there's a new Apple bundle called Apple One. We heard about this kind of coming on. It reminds me of Google's Google One service, but Apple One actually includes more. So it includes Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and iCloud storage, all for $15 a month at the minimum. This includes 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage. That's definitely worth it. Now, there is also a family plan that lets you share all of the basic services and up to 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage for $20. Now, understandably, that is definitely different, and it makes sense. There's a lot more people involved in that, so there will have to be some caveats. It gives you. There's also a there's also a Premier tier, so that includes a new Fitness Plus service and Apple News Plus with 2 terabytes storage. That's $30 a year. Again, we currently have no UK pricing on any of these features or devices. These bundles will be available this fall. I gotta admit, I'm happy with Apple to do this. They really are showing themselves as a good company. Now, on the cheap end, Apple have announced some new iPads. So on the base model iPad, it's not much. It's basically the same, just with a performance bump. It comes out on Friday at either $330 for regular customers or $300 for customers in the education market. What we kind of expect. However, there's a new iPad Air. So it's got a much slimmer bezels, more MacBook Pro look, but quite different. Now, it has a 10.9-inch display with a 2360 by 1640 pixel resolution. Touch ID is integrated into the top sleep wake button, which has a sapphire crystal on the top so it can see your fingerprint. Sapphire, I swear that's Apple's favourite buzzword. They actually got buzzed for not using sapphire on their Apple Watches at one point in a Jerry Rigs everything. So yeah. The device charges with USB-C, a welcome change. Now, that's definitely good. So you can use the same cable to charge your MacBook and your iPad. But the new chip inside, which is Apple's own A14 Bionic, it's a 6-core design that's more energy efficient, more performance, and first chip to be built on a 5nm process. It's set to become a new standard in the computer industry over next year. The device starts at $599 and goes on sale next month. So this is definitely an expensive device. You won't be going for cheap performance. If you want cheap, you'll actually be going for a base model iPad. Software updates. Everyone loves a new software update because it means your device is getting more secure, but they don't like it when it changes everything around on your device. And unfortunately, that's the one coming out tomorrow. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll see some notifications on your Apple devices with iOS 14. iOS 14 is coming to iPhones and iPads tomorrow. New features coming out will be released in a podcast episode by me either tomorrow or Thursday. Again, just depends on timing of what I'm up to. But I will let you know that this update is going to iPhones, iPads, Apple Watch, and Apple TV. For iPhone and iPad, it's version 14 of their software. For the Apple Watch, this is WatchOS 7. For tvOS, I believe it's also tvOS 7. I can't be 100% sure, but I believe Watch and TV are both on 7. We're also getting some we did get no audio gadgets, so no headphones or a HomePod speaker, but there are rumours Apple has a new hardware announcement for October, because we did see an iPhone revealed, and Apple have said the new iPhone probably won't come out until October. Definitely an extra month, but really it won't impact their sales too much, to be honest. I think they'll do fine, because the people who go buy in September and October will just buy in all in October. So we calculate 2 months worth of purchases in 1 month instead of it'll just probably combine all of those purchases into one month probably. So don't worry. So I'm sure they shouldn't be worrying about it too much. They're good phones and they should see some good sales. I do actually want to address something I've done quite a lot on this podcast. Truthfully, I've been a bit of an Apple basher. Yeah. Yeah, I've been an Apple basher. I have definitely, yeah. When talking about Apple products and stuff, I will not lie, I have been a bit too harsh. I get frustrated with their practices toward developers and also toward consumers at times as well. Just the way they treat customers is not the best company in the world. But the fact is, whilst I believe there is something they can improve on, I have to acknowledge they do so many things just absolutely perfectly, from the design of their software, which, whilst I do have some issues with the way that developers are treated on their software, there are actually some amazing videos to watch on YouTube for that. I go into much more detail. And just some things about default apps and stuff, which are being addressed slowly. I definitely do believe that Apple does care about their customers, and it does show. It's just their way of kind of forcing you into repairing it, but they have definitely done some amazing things. Now, let's go on to the no power adapter. This I'm not bothered about. If you've had an Apple Watch before, then you have a power adapter. So, and if you've had an iPhone, then you also don't need a power adapter. Now, rumours were swirling that Apple would ship its next iPhone without a power brick. We don't know if that's going to happen yet, but there's a good sign, as all models of the Apple Watch, including the Series 6, are being sold without the traditional 5-watt USB power adapter in the box. If you need one, it costs $20. But basically, the watch comes with a magnetic charging cable you need to power it up. So if you bought an iPhone or Apple Watch in the last 10 years or so, you should have the power you need. Don't worry about it too much. It's just about removing the power adapter helps it meet its environmental sustainability goals, which is definitely a good thing. Apple are really good about environment as well. Another positive thing about them. I'm going to try being more positive about Apple. Sorry. So, it's definitely a good thing. Now, I completely understand that, but I think the cost of it is too high. $20 for a 5-watt power adapter is a bit high. $5? Yeah, $5, 5 watts. There. Anyway, I think it's fine if you got an iPhone, which you most likely do, or an iPad. Just use that, you'll be absolutely fine. So that is everything in terms of Apple news for today. Absolutely amazing presentation, by the way. If you didn't watch it, I actually do recommend you watch it. The production quality on the pre-recorded briefings is absolutely amazing. I'm just in awe of what Apple have been able to do with all of this. So that's everything for kind of the Apple Watch and Apple announcement section of today's podcast. Let's get on to Project xCloud. The probably best streaming service I have used. I have tested Stadia and GeForce Now as well, but I think for me currently, xCloud is taking the cake, and it's not just because I'm an Xbox gamer. So let's get into why. Okay, so you're getting this small change in audio. I swapped over to my phone. It's just easier to record on here, and the audio is just a bit different, so sorry about that. But long story short, let's get into xCloud and how good it is, because it is one amazing service. So xCloud launched in pre-beta. I'm going to call it pre-beta because I'm not calling it alpha. It was not an alpha release at all. It was more complete than Stadia when that launched, is my opinion. So xCloud launched in pre-beta last year, around November time. I can't remember the exact date, but it was around November time last year. It launched in pre-beta. Basically, it was, or let's call it what it was: closed beta. Small embargo on what you could and couldn't talk about, but mostly it was absolutely incredible. There was, and now is, a huge selection of games available to play, including most of Microsoft's first-party titles, apart from Forza Motorsport 7. Don't ask why. You've got Forza Horizon 4 but not Motorsport 7. I assume it's just something to do with the way that they've done Game Pass or something, as it's still not available in the full release. But you do have Destiny 2 on there, which is incredible. And as for EA Play titles, both will be coming probably around Series X and Series S launch time later this year. But from November of last year, it was very obvious that Microsoft had an amazing product on their hands. From either being able to play just completely cloud gaming, wherever you are, to being able to play games that are on your console, on your smartphone. You can really tell that Microsoft have put thought and effort into this product, and it does show. From day one, I was having amazing experiences, and as far as I can tell, the only reason I had lag on my device was just due to some messing around I'd done on my Samsung phone back then. I have since got a new phone as my contract expired, so I got a new phone, and it's working absolutely flawlessly. So either it's just Bluetooth has improved in 2 years since I got my first phone, or it was something I did on the phone, or it was just that xCloud was not very good during my testing times with it back then, as I did notice improvements over time with the old phone as well. Now, back then, when I first did it, first game I probably booted up was probably Destiny 2 actually. The tearing. Oh my gosh. Very frequently you would have just the entire game just get really pixelated. I mean, a fresh wall of pixels came down from the top and just refreshed your game. It became so frustrating to use. When I compare this though side by side with Stadia, when Stadia 3 came out earlier this year, xCloud in its early days was graceful. Stadia was having constant slip-ups on my device in terms of just completely go all the way to the bottom or all the way up to the top when I was playing. So I would have no way to fully know I have control of my gaming. xCloud always felt better to me, regardless of what Stadia was doing. And it does show that Microsoft have built a better service. Now, from early days in October, I could tell it's not yet anywhere near being the full-on replacement service that we want it to be. I want a full-on replacement service that will be able to be my Xbox 10 years down the line. We are at least 10 years away from that future, and I cannot wait to get a Series X or Series S in the meantime. Still unsure about that, but whichever one I do get, I will have a review for you. And luckily, the only differences are 4K streaming and something else which is also minor. The two really minor things actually are three minor things are the main differences. And disk drive, 4K recording and streaming, and 4K resolution. Those are the three main differences. So really, they're both great consoles. It just depends on how much of a physical content library you rely on. Personally, I want to be able to have a physical content library. I like the feel of having a physical disc, but I do also prefer the digital expansion. So I will be going mostly digital next gen. However, backwards compatibility games, even though I'm selling most of my Xbox One games, is still a thing. I'm only doing it for Jedi Fallen Order. I could purchase a GameCube, but I love Jedi Fallen Order. It's a really good game. Anyway, my point in all of this is xCloud is an amazing service for those of you who don't have an Xbox, and even for those of you who do have an Xbox. However, it's not quite there yet. I can't say with 100% certainty it is there, but when comparing my experience playing Forza Horizon 4 from day one, where I could barely do anything, playing it on constantly in the meantime where I'm still not doing very well, I'm talking not winning any of my races, to playing literally today, just before I recorded this podcast, and coming first in a race that I hadn't tried before. Yes, I use rewinds, bit of a cheat, I know, but point is, I do really well on xCloud. I do better than I normally do. So whilst it is still far from perfect, it's definitely a step in the right direction. What I'm going to do is kind of do probably a 4-month review. So I got mock exams coming up in December of this year, so I won't be recording a podcast during most of November and December. I will do podcast episodes during the holidays after Christmas, probably. But my schedule is going to be jam-packed from late October, so I'll do as many as I can now, but from late October I am swamped. So yeah. Now that's obviously assuming we don't go back into lockdown. Anyway. Point is though, xCloud has advanced massively from being something I would call barely playable on day one I tried it, to an experience I could recommend to my friends daily. I recommend that to them daily. There is one caveat: you need at least 10 megabits per second download speed. As long as you have that, you will be fine. Honestly, you can get that on most public Wi-Fi's, decent number of home Wi-Fi's, I'm not going to say every single one. But compared to GeForce Now and Google Stadia, both of them, I'm not mentioning PS Now, I just don't believe that as a full-on competitor, personally. It's completely different. But compared to either of those, it's definitely a step ahead. It's definitely ahead. It's still beta. They are still calling it beta. But I would take away beta. I would advise them to take beta out of it. Because it's not Stadia. It's not Stadia at launch, I'm not gonna lie. It is much better than Stadia. It has a massive game library. That's just including a Game Pass Ultimate subscription. I have to say this now, it is the best deal in gaming I have ever seen. I'm not even lying. Yeah. So, if I had to summarise xCloud, so yeah, basically, my recommendation is, if you have the Ultimate, try xCloud. If you don't have an Xbox but you want to play games, and you don't have a way to play games now, get an Ultimate subscription for about $10 a month. You can do some pretty decent PC games, including EA Play games. That are coming out soon. Those are going to be amazing. I can't wait to give that a go. And just have fun on that. Honestly, it's such an amazing time to play EA titles on your Xbox. You're going to have an amazing time, and most of them will be coming to xCloud as well when it launches when EA Play joins Game Pass later this year in the holiday season. I'm sorry everyone, I'm getting absolutely exhausted today. It's been a tiring day. I will see you in tomorrow. I'll see you in either tomorrow or Thursday's episode. I'm not sure which one yet. The new iOS software tomorrow, so probably tomorrow. I'm in the PlayStation 1 on Thursday. My name's Luke. This is Down Out Digital World. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.